Hello, welcome to Chair Yoga. So today our theme is going to be about serenity. We're going to get into some nice stretching, and I hope that you will really enjoy it. So the only props you really need today are really dependent on you and your body. So you'll notice that I'm sitting here on my chair. I've got blocks under my feet. This is because I'm 4'10" and a half. The half is really important. And I'm also sitting up on a folded blanket here on my chair. So sitting on the chair, sitting on the blanket on the chair and the blocks help me sit in a little bit more of an ergonomically correct way, a little bit better posture, and helps my body be a little bit more at ease when I'm doing different things. So if you're a shorter person, experiment with setting up maybe on a folded blanket and using blocks or something under your feet. Taller people most likely won't need those things. And other than that, if you are not a short person, you probably won't need blocks at all today because we're going to use the chair. You do want to use a chair. You want to make sure that there are no handles or arms on the side. And if you're on a hard surface, it might be nice and safer for you if you have your chair on a yoga mat, just so that there's not a risk of sliding. So let's go ahead and get started sitting in a nice tall seat. So what I mean by that is a nice tall spine, ears, shoulders, and hips are in alignment. And I'm trying to zip up here from the pubic bone to behind the navel. My belly button is in. My front side is supporting the back side. Hands can be anywhere you want. I'm just going to set those right on my thighs. And let's just get some neck stretches in here before we do some breath work. So I'm going to let that chin come down to the chest. And I'm letting gravity give me that stretch through the back of the neck. Inhale, exhale, we'll take that back up. Good. Let's look up, take the chin and your gaze where your ceiling and the wall meet. So we're not taking the head all the way back here, just where that ceiling and the wall meet. And then if you want a little bit more of a chin stretch here, if you can take your jaw more forward, it'll make a funny face, but it's a really nice stretch through here. Good. And we'll release and we'll take the head back to center. Let's take left ear to left shoulder. So just letting gravity kind of pull the head this way, keeping the shoulder grounded and getting that nice stretch through the right side of my neck. So you're welcome to stay here. You might let that right arm just kind of expand a little bit. So that line will give it just a little bit of a deeper stretch. Some of you might choose to take the left hand, place it right above that right ear. So there's no tugging or pulling here. You're just letting gravity use the weight of the arm and the hand together to give you a little bit more of a stretch. And breathe. And releasing and coming back center. So taking that to the other side, right ear, right shoulder is down. You can stay here. You can take that left arm along to the side. You can take the right hand up right above that ear, letting gravity give you a deeper stretch here. And when you're ready, good, we'll gently release and come back to center. Let's keep the chest and the shoulders forward. Just look to the left. And we'll look to the right. Good. From here, let's go into some breath work. So I'm going to cue you through the Ujjayi Pranayama. Some people call it the ocean breath, the victorious breath. I'm a Star Wars fan, so I like to call it the Darth Vader breath. But there's 3 ways that you can do it. The first 2 are preps, they're half Ujjayi, and then the last one is the full Ujjayi. So if you're doing it on an inhale only, You're going to try to make a sound through the back of the throat. The mouth will be closed, and you're trying to make an AH sound, the ah sound. So it'll sound like this on the inhale. Good. And then you would just exhale normally. You can also do it on the exhale. So on the exhale, again, the mouth is closed. You're making that back of the throat constriction. You're trying to make an A sound, ha, with the breath. So I'm going to inhale to prepare for that. And then I'll exhale that ha. Good. And the exhale tends to be a little bit louder than the inhale. And then there's the full Ujjayi breath, where you're doing both the inhale and the exhale. And so then that sounds like this. Good. And this is a nice breath to do. It tones the fifth chakra here, the throat chakra. It's also toning to the third chakra area here. So this is your communication. This is your self-worth, courage, all of that is here. It's also toning to the muscles. It's also a calming breath to the nervous system. So because today's theme is serenity, then we're going to bring in this breath because it's a really good one. So let's take a few rounds of that right now. You're free to close your eyes. Again, you want to sit nice and tall. When you practice your breath work, that facilitates better breath. And if you can, on your inhale, see if you can expand that rib cage as well. So from here, I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to exhale to prepare. I'm going to do the full. Good. Inhale. Exhale. Again. 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 Last time. Okay. Return to normal breathing. And so I'm going to encourage you throughout your practice today to bring in that Ujjayi breath however you would like. But if that's too hard for you or too much for you today, always just breathe. Let's take our arms up overhead. Big inhale and reach. Shoulders are grounded. I'm going to take my left hand to my chair, the outside of the chair. Where you hold on depends on where you're comfortable, and just take a nice side bend. As you take a side bend here, try not to let that shoulder collapse forward. You want to really open that up. Breathe and expand that rib cage. Inhale peace, exhale worry, and we'll come back up. I'm going to reach up again. My right hand's going to come down. I'm going to hold on to that chair somewhere that feels good to me on the side. And then taking that over to the other. Inhale peace, exhale worry, serenity. And then coming all the way back up. Let's reach, reach, reach. Good. I'm going to rotate here to my left. I've got a nice long spine if you always want to twist with a long spine. Good. My right hand is going to come onto my left side. My left hand is going to come somewhere on the chair to help me. Roll that shoulder back, both shoulders actually. And then I'm just going to turn a little bit more. Breathing and expanding. So remember, you never want to crank through the back. You want to be able to expand the rib cage on your twists. If you do want something a little bit deeper, start with the eyeballs. With the eyeballs only, because you look a little bit more behind you, and then your body might twist on its own just a little bit deeper. Inhale to lift. Exhale, center. Other side, nice and tall. Inhale. Exhale, rotate. Left hand's going to come down onto the right side. Right hand's going to come down, holding that chair somewhere, rolling shoulders back. and twisting, looking behind me. Breathing and expanding. And then if I want to stay here, good. Maybe look with the eyeballs just a little bit more. Inhale to lift, exhale center. Good. Let's get a stretch across the top of the back. So clasping the hands together. Good. I'm going to press away. I'm just going round. Good. See if you can separate the shoulder blades here. And let's get into the shoulders a little bit. So taking the arms out to the side, palms going to come to the ceiling, hands to the shoulder. Good. Let's move forward and back. If you can touch the elbows together when you come forward, that's great. If not, no worries. But you want to try to pull them forward, separating shoulder blades as much as possible. And when you open to the back, you want to try to squeeze them together. But you want to do it without popping the chest forward and do this. We don't want to flop around like a fish here. Use your abdominal engagement, belly button into the spine to help you with that core control. Good. Now let's take the arms out to the side. Right arm is going to cross on top of the left. You can hug yourself here. For some of you, this is going to be it. You can lift and lower. Some of you might be able to wrap the arms around here. Same thing. Feel free to lift and lower, but here you might be able to move the hands forward and back. So finding a nice stretchy point here. Finding breath. And we'll gently release, arms out to the side. Taking that into the other side, left arm's gonna come on top of the right. You can hug yourself or you can wrap. Good. So wiggle around, find your optimal spot. You're still sitting nice and tall. Breathe. I focus on what I can control and let go of what I cannot. Serenity. When you're ready, we'll open and release. Good. I'm going to come to standing here. So I'm just going to take my block to the side. I'll come back to those in a moment. Good. And then I'm going to put my blanket to the side because I will not need that again until Shavasana. So from here, I'm going to turn my chair to the side. You're fine with your chair unless you need to move it to better see what I'm doing. So we're going to take this into a downward facing dog here. So some of you can hold on to the seat of your chair. Good. Stepping your feet back. You can have a bend in the knees as needed, or you can just keep hinging back here, ears by the biceps. Gaze is going to be where your feet are. Okay. Some of you, maybe that low is not where you need to be. So maybe you need to be on the higher side of your chair, finding where you need to be here. Knees can be bent or lengthened. Ears can still be by the biceps here. Okay. So find your downward facing dog where you're going to find it. I'm going to come back over here because this is what feels good to me today. Feet are going to be about hip width apart. And breathe. Try not to let the chest dip towards the floor here. So you still want a relatively long spine. Now from here, let's get a little bit of ankle mobility in. So I'm just going to bend that right knee, lifting that right heel, and then I'm going to press that down. Same thing on the left, and lower, and right, and lower, and left, and lower, and right, and lower. My belly button is in, and left, and lower. Good. Now, from here, we're going to take this into a plank pose from here. So if you're on the lower side of your chair, the seat side of your chair, good. With bent knees, you can come forward. Good. So your shoulders are over or slightly behind the wrist still. I'm going to press my heels back just a little bit and my belly button is in. If you're here and you've got a wrist issue, You can do this on your forearm here, okay? Still trying to find your link. Some of you might need the high side. So if you're going to take the high side with your plank, be careful that you don't pull it back or push it forward, but you can hold on to your chair. Good. And then find your plank here. Okay. So find your plank where you need to find it. We're going to hold this for about 5 breaths. Find your Ujjayi pranayama here. Good. And serenity. Inhale peace. Exhale worry. Peace flows through me. And then when you're ready, good. I'm just going to shift back and take that back into a downward facing dog. So from wherever you are, find your down dog. And we're going to do a little down dog plank flow here. And we're going to move through these really slow. So be mindful of your movement. Always bend the knees as you need to. And then from here, good, I'm going to shift that back forward into my plank. Good. Bent knees are hinging from the hips. Take that back down dog. Inhale, move forward, find your plank. Find a little bit of peace in this nice gentle flow. I shouldn't say gentle, this is upper body intensive, but it's gentle in the sense that we're not moving too fast through it. And when you're ready, gently take it back. Last downward facing dog. Good. And then just use your chair to help you as you walk those feet back in. Good. We're going to come back to a seat on the reformer. Good. I'm just going to leave my blanket off for this one, but I am going to bring my blocks back in. And we're going to sit towards the front edge. And we're going to do a little bit of core work here and then a stretch. So you want to be able to sit nice and tall here on your chair. You're zipped up nice and tall. What we're going to do is we're going to use the abs to lift the legs in the march. So you're getting a little bit of core strengthening here. So belly button is into the spine at all times. Good. Inhale. Good. Left leg lift. And lower. Good. Inhale, lift. And lower. Good. Let's change the breath because I messed that up. We're going to exhale on the lift. Inhale on the lower. Good. Inhale to prepare. Exhale on the lift. That works much better. And taking that down. Inhale. Exhale and lift. And down. Good. Here's 3. Good. And again, other side. So really envision yourself. Tell yourself, abs, lift this leg. Abs, lift this leg. When you focus on your abs, they suddenly fire up here. If you don't focus on the abs, then what happens? You get into the hip flexor, and that's where you get that discomfort in the hip crease because your abs are no longer working. Your hip flexors are psoas muscle. It's taking over. Good. One more time each side. Exhale to lift. And how high you lift depends on your own body's abilities. I have a pretty strong core, so my legs can lift pretty high. Good. And we'll take that down. Good. From here, just do a little bit of a wiggle. Good. We're going to get a knee to chest stretch here. So 2 ways you can do this one. If you've got osteoporosis or something going on in the back where flexion is not a good idea, then as you come behind your right leg here, or left leg here, and pull it up, you're going to keep a nice long spine. You're still working, you're still pressing into the belly, you're still, getting all of the benefits of this exercise, this pose. This helps with bloating and gas. Those of you that are okay with flexion, round as you pull that in. Breathe. Try to relax the shoulders. When you're ready, we'll gently take that back down. Good. Other side. So again, as you pull it in, keep a tall spine, a long spine if that's what your body needs, or you can round as you pull it in here. Breathe. And when you're ready, good. We'll lower that back down. Let's take one more seated pose here. Let's go into seated cat-cow. So I've got my hands on my knees. I'm going to use my arms as leverage. So I'm going to keep them pretty long. So on an inhale, I'm going to take my chest forward, rolling the shoulders back, looking up. There's my cow pose. Careful not to come too deep into extension here. And then exhale, I'm going to round. Mad cat pose. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. One more round. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Good. And then coming back to a nice tall seat. Let's come to standing now. I'm going to move my block out of the way. So from here, we're going to come and just do a basic standing twist. So I'm going to face the seat of my chair. Good. And you can always do this up against a wall if you need to put your hand on something. So no worries about that. I'm going to start with my right leg because that's the leg that's closest to the camera. And I'm just going to put my foot up here. Yep, maybe I need the wall today. Good. So as you come up here, remember you're also strengthening that supporting leg. So you want to strengthen that well. So you want your hip, knee, and toe of that supporting leg to face forward. Good. And from here, I'm just going to find my balance a little bit. Maybe hands come here. Good. So I've got my left hand on my right thigh. I'm going to take my right arm forward. I'm taking my gaze to my right hand, and I'm going to follow that hand as I open to the side. And you just go to your body's limit. Good. So again, if you need a hand on the wall, you're not going to have a hand on the thigh. You're going to have that hand on the wall. So I inhale peace, exhale worry. I choose serenity. I choose serenity. And then, good. We'll watch that hand as it comes back center. Good. And then we'll switch sides. Good. So this side should feel a little tired now. So now your right foot, hip, knee, and toe are going to track forward. We're going to put the other foot up here. Good. So again, make sure that you're in a good alignment here with this leg, and you can bend it as needed. Just don't do this hyperextension. The hyperextension is a habit pattern for me. It's a work in progress. Took me years to develop that habit. It will take me years to come out. Good. So coming here. Good. So right hand comes onto a wall or that left thigh. Left arm is going to come forward. We're going to look at that left hand. Belly button is in. Good. And we're going to follow it as we open to the left. So always a long spine. Belly button is always in here when we twist. We want to protect the low back. That's especially important if you've already got a low back issue. You don't want to cause more problems than you already have. Finding breath. And following that hand, coming back center. Good. And then you can take that foot off. Good. Now shake out that supporting leg. Okay. We're going to come into a warrior two. So I'm not going to do a seated version of the warrior two. If you need that, I've got that version in a couple other videos, but I'm going to do a standing one. So those of you that have a balance issue where you need to hold on to something and be up against something, you can be up against your wall here. So a couple things for those of you that have a tendency to take your knee forward of the ankle and you don't have that awareness yet, try to take that hair up against that knee, and that will train you to kind of learn what that feels like so that can stop what's happening. I don't need that, so I'm not going to come quite as close to my chair, but I'm going to take, so this is going to be my left leg here. My right leg, I'm going to step back. Good. As I step it back, good. I want from the hip about a 45-degree angle. So I'm going to turn out about 45-ish degrees. Good. You can have a heel to heel alignment or heel to arch alignment. You might even have to take this leg out a little bit wider for more stability if needed. And take this foot a little more forward. Good. So once you've got this, holding on to your chair, good. My front hip, which is going to be my left hip, because that's the leg that's in front, is going to come back. Good. So my hips are at about a 45-ish degree angle. I'm going to try to leave them there as I open only from the torso. Good. And then maybe that back arm comes back. And I've got a hand here on the chair for support. Good. Now, you can also do this completely up against the wall if you need it. I recommend if you're using a wall for stability, for your balance, that you practice that for a while and then try to gradually come away from the wall and use your chair and progress that way. But I'm going to look this way. I'm going to find my breath. You can always play with letting go, seeing where you are. Good. And then from here, we'll lengthen that front leg. Good. So I'm going to leave my feet and legs exactly how they are here. We're going to take this into triangle. Triangle. So some of you that don't want to come too deep, your hand's going to stay on the top part of your chair. Those of you that can have a little bit more flexibility in opening and come to the seat of the chair are welcome to. But from here, good. My front hip, which is going to be my left hip, is going to come back. So my back hip is going to come forward. I've got a little softness in this front knee here because I don't want to walk it out. Good. And then I'm going to lengthen. Okay. How far you go, where you go, is going to depend on the front hamstring. So I'm going to be here. And then I'm going to open up towards the ceiling. Opening up towards the ceiling. And if you're up against the wall, maybe use that to help you open up a little bit more without fear of falling back. And as you come back into your breath, if you would like, you can take that arm long over the head. This feels a little bit different. Good. So remember, I inhale peace, exhale worry. I focus on what I can control and let go of what I cannot. Peace flows through me. I choose serenity. And let's take that arm up if you took it long. Look down at that front foot. Put a bend in that front knee. Let that chair help you as you come back up. Okay, we're going to go into a pyramid variation here now. So notice how your legs are a little bit wider apart. We're going to take that back leg in about halfway. We're going to take it in about halfway. There's a couple ways that you can do this one, and it's 100% dependent on how your hips feel. So the traditional foot placement is you've still got this warrior prep back leg. You're just not as wide. If your hips don't want that today, you can do a parallel railroad track. So your parallel railroad track, which is what I'm going to use today because that's what my hips want. Good. So again, you can have your hands on the top of the chair, or you can work your way to the seated part, but standing up nice and tall. Good. My left leg is forward, so I'm going to take that left hip back so my hips are squared forward. My belly button is in. Good. And then I'm going to lean forward with a long spine. Good. And again, this is just like triangle. Your front hamstring will let you know where you can or can't go. So just be careful of your head here. To also kind of use it as an opportunity to get a little bit of a third eye connection here. That's what I'm going to do. Just don't press into it, really hard. And I'm still getting that nice stretch in that left hamstring here. Nice breath. When you're ready, putting a bend in that front knee. Good. And we'll come up from there. Good. We're going to do that all on the other side. So I'm just going to move my chair to the other side. Good. So starting again with the warrior two, and sides might be different. So maybe you need to, do this on one side, but maybe not the other. Good. Just kind of find your placement. So your back foot's going to come back. Good. You can be up against that wall. Good. You're at that 45-degree angle. So hips, knees, and toes are going to turn inward. You're turning from the hip, okay, not from the foot or the knee. The rotation comes from the hip. Good. Find a heel to heel, heel to arch placement, or maybe this needs to be a little bit wider. This needs to be a little bit more forward for me. Good. Good. I'm just going to bend. Again, you don't want the knee to go past the ankle. Good. Then I'm going to take my back arm back and look forward. So my hand is here. My belly button is in. My front hip is back. I'm opening from the torso. And again, feel free to play. Breathe. I choose serenity. I choose serenity. Strong feet, strong muscles, strong bones. When we don't engage our muscles, we just are there. We kind of hang in the flexibility. We want to get out of that habit. So we'll lengthen that front leg a little bit here. We're going to come into the triangle from here. So again, you can have a hand up here. If you're a little bit more open, you can have a hand down on the seat. So from here, my right hip now is going to come back. My left hip is going to come forward. Good. I'm going to lengthen, long torso. Good. Take that to where you can take it. And then when you're ready, opening up. Maybe looking up at that hand if you can. Find your Ujjayi Pranayama. Maybe arm comes overhead with the other side. And when you're ready, arm will come back up. Look down at that front foot. Put a bend in that front knee. Use the chair to help you come back up. Okay, coming into the pyramid from the side. So your back leg's going to come in about halfway. Good. And find the alignment you need, which might not quite be what you did on the other side. So if you notice on the other side, I did parallel railroad track. This side is okay. I'm going to do the more traditional alignment, the warrior prep alignment on this side. And I'm going to scoot back a little bit here. Good. Okay. So you've got your alignment. Good. Your front hip is going to come back hip's going to come forward. So your hips are squared forward. Good. Hands can come to the top, and then you can start to lean forward. Keep a little softness in this front knee. You can stay there, or you can take the hands down. Again, if your hands are on the seat and it's accessible, you want that little third eye connection with the back of the chair, you can touch. My belly button is still in. I'm still breathing. Peace flows through me and all around me. And then when you're ready, hitting the bend in that front knee, using the chair to help you, come back up and step back in. All right, let's take this into a tree pose. A tree pose. So different things for different people. I will show this from, let me put this more in the center, from two different angles. So some of you are just going to come and you can awfully, come up against your wall here too. But your inside leg that's closest to the chair is going to come onto the chair. So just like we did when we did the twist, this hip, knee, and toe is going to track forward. And then see if you can open this out to the side. Okay. And you may not be as good as me, but you have to start somewhere. So if this is where you are, start there. And then over time, see if you can open. This preps you and strengthens you for real tree. So from here, you can take your arms up. You can take hands to prayer. You can take your arms out to the side. Find your tree that feels good to you right here. And even though, I can do a regular tree, I'm actually feeling a really nice stretch and opening right through here, just having my leg and foot up here, which tells me I don't do this one enough. So that is one version. Another version is if you just need to hold on to something, but you can do your legs more tree. So from here, good. Maybe you're holding on. You can do what I call the kickstand tree, so you're still opening up. You can come to the calf muscle. You might be able to take it to the thigh. You want to make sure you're either on the thigh or the calf. We don't want to be at the knee. Okay, we don't want to press on the knee joint. And then from here, good. You can take this free arm up anywhere you want and breathe. About my internal dialogue is kind and loving. I radiate calm, peace, and serenity. And when you're ready, good. Carefully come out of the tree that you chose. Shake out that supporting leg. So we're going to do that on the other side. Good. So I'm just going to move my chair. Good. So again, you can put, this leg up there if you want to do that, or you can do just holding on. So choose what you need. Your supporting leg, wherever you are, hip, knee, and toe are going to track forward. Zipping up, belly button in. Are you going to kickstand? Are you going to be at the calf or the thigh? And then breathe. How about I choose faith over fear? I choose faith over fear, bringing me to more serenity. And when you're ready, we'll gently come out of there and shake out that supporting leg. All right, we're going to come back and have a seat in the chair. I'm going to come back this way. So from here, I'm not going to bring my blocks back in because we're going to use this to do some stretches. So we're going to use the chair to help us in a seated forward fold, So for this first one, you can have your feet completely flat. Here you are seated on the edge, or you can bring the heels up, the toes up here. Careful not to lock and hyperextend the knees, so you want a little softness there. Belly button is in, arms are up. Good. Long spine. Inhale, exhale, lean forward. Good. Those of you where deep flexion is not appropriate, you'll stay here. You can still bring your arms down. Others will keep going with the round if that's safe for you to do. And you should get that nice little stretch in the back of the hamstrings here. Good. Now I'm going to come back. I like the long spine just a little bit better here today. Breathing. When you're ready, good. Just walk the hands back up the leg, and you can bend those knees to come out of there. So we're going to go into a seated Janu Sirsasana. So this is the one you'll see in pictures where somebody has one leg forward and they've got the other leg kind of pulled in. We're going to do a seated version of that. And for this one, just so that you can best see, I'm going to do this one at an angle. Good. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my left leg forward. Good. So I've got that toes pointing back. And then this leg, I'm just going to take out to the side here. And I can choose if I want to, bring the toe in here. If I want to keep a foot flat, I'm going to come to the toe. So you just kind of choose what you need. So I'm zipping up. I'm nice and tall again. Again, if you've got osteoporosis or something like that, keep a long spine. Otherwise, good. I'm going to lengthen. And then maybe hands come down. You're free to fold in. Find yours. And be careful here too, how deep you go. You are on the edge of the chair. You don't want to take a forward tumble. And when you're ready, good, we'll walk those hands back up and we'll do that to the other side. Good. Now my right leg is going to come forward. Good. I'm going to turn my left foot out so I can be here or I can be here on the toe. Choose what works best for you on this side. Zipping up, big inhale, exhale. Good. Lean and find it. Long spine if you need that. You can round the spine if that's safe for you. So I choose serenity. I radiate calm, peace, and serenity. I inhale peace. I exhale worry. And when you're ready, good, we'll come up from there and come back in. Good. So we're going to do that again, or similarly, but we're going to come onto the floor. So from here, good, I'm just going to redo my chair. Good. And then I'm just going to use that chair to help me carefully come to the floor. And the way that you come to the floor might not be the way that I come to the floor. And that's okay. Get there how you need to get there. Now I'm going to bring my blanket back in here because we'll use that in a moment. Good. So how close you need to sit to the chair depends on your own body's needs. So I've got my legs through the chair here because this chair allows me to do that. You can also be a little bit wider apart. You can also sit up on a pillow or a blanket if you've got really tight hips. So one way you can forward fold here, again with a long spine, you can reach forward here. This feels lovely. You can come here. That also feels lovely. If you want to keep going, but you need to be on something, that you can come this way. Okay. So I've got a little bit of a curvature in my spine. So again, do what you need, what feels good to your body. This is what feels best to my body, right here in the spot. Always keep a little micro bend in the knees here. You can always put something under there to help. And then when you're ready, good, we'll come up from there. Let's take this into a wide leg forward fold. So I'm going to take my legs out wide. And again, have your chair as close or as far away from you as needed. Toes, knees, and hips are facing the ceiling. Long spine to start. Good. I'm just going to come here on this one. Good. You can rest the head on the corner if you want to. And breathe. I choose serenity. I choose faith over fear. When you're ready, good. We'll come up from there. Good. Let's take this into a gentle twist. So you can take your legs however you want to do your legs. I'm just going to come into a gentle crisscross applesauce. You can have a hand on the chair if you would like, or just sit here for a moment. But I'm going to take nice long spine, my right hand behind me. Good. I'm going to lift, and I'm just going to take a gentle twist towards my right. And then coming back center. And same thing for the other side. Nice long spine. Left hand comes behind me. Gentle twist to the left. And we'll come back to center. Good. We're going to come into Shavasana here. So I'm going to give you a couple options. If you would rather sit in your chair and just kind of do a nice little relaxation there, feel free to do so. Just make sure that, if you need to sit on a blanket, if you need blocks on your feet, something on your feet, that you're doing it in a way to where your body's not going to find some uncomfortable strain. Others will follow me. We're going to put our legs in the seat. Because I'm short, I'm going to take a blanket underneath my hips. Taller people may not need anything under the hips. I'm just going to come up here. Good. And just get into place in the way that's best for you, which might not be the way that you're seeing me do it. Good. And then once you're here, let's kind of get a wiggle. So once you're, whether you're lying down or sitting in your chair, make a few little movements here to get yourself about 10% more comfortable. And let the belly drop in if you're lying on your back. You're going to zip up a little bit if you're seated in the chair. And then I'm going to have you close your eyes, and I'm going to give you this final thought. I breathe in to nourish my spirit. I breathe out to soften and relax. I breathe in to nourish my spirit. I breathe out to soften and relax. Bring in that Ujjayi Pranayama if you can. Taking some deep breaths here. Choose stillness or gently take your head and neck from side to side in the way that's best for you based on where you went. Choosing stillness or invite movement of wiggling the fingers and the toes. And then from here, once you're ready, good. If you're grounded, I'm going to ask you to carefully take your feet off the chair. Good. I've got my feet on my chair leg, and I'm going to press that out just a little bit here. I'm going to lift my hips. I'm going to remove my blanket, and then I'm going to roll over to my right or left side, the side that works best for me. And then when you're ready, pressing yourself up into a comfortable seat. You're free to stay down here on the floor, or you can follow me and come back to a seat in the chair. So however you need to come back onto your feet, to sit in your chair is what I would recommend. And I'm just going to reset up this comfy chair for myself. And once you're in your chair or your comfy seat, let's take a big inhale and reach. Touching palms together, looking up there at those hands. Exhale, stopping those thumbs right in front of the forehead for good and true thoughts. To the lips for good and kind words, and to the heart for open and loving hearts. Knowing no effort on this mat is ever wasted, no gain is ever reversed. May you be safe, may you stay well, may you have a wonderful day, evening, week, month, season ahead. Thank you so much for practicing chair yoga with me. Hope to see you again soon. Namaste.